One of the toughest things about doing this whole YouTube thing for me, one, of course, it is the time and effort required to kind of shoot B-roll, record videos, do your own editing, push it out. And two, the amount of money and space that having all these shoes can cost you. My channel, obviously, in the grand scheme of things, I do appreciate everyone that watches any of my videos, but like in the grand scheme of things, objectively, my channel is like a booger in the ocean. It is a tiny channel. So doing this whole YouTube thing, this hobby, definitely a money loser. I lose money on buying the shoes, so I have to let a bunch of them go. I have to sell them. Most of the times I'll wear them and I go, I can't keep everything, so I sell them for way under retail, because as soon as you wear that shoe, you undead stock them, the value really drops, you're selling a second-hand worn shoe. But sometimes I sell one and I go, what the flying did I just do? I know some people live by the saying like never have any regrets, live life with no regrets, whatever. I'm not that guy, because here are 10 regrets of mine. These are the 10 shoes that I really wish I didn't let go. Now disclaimer, this is only shoes that I reviewed. So here we go. At number 10, it is the Jordan 14 Ferrari that returned on June of 2025. Now I've always loved like monochromatic looking shoes, like all red shoes or like dark or burnt orange shoes like the Jordan 5 Dunk on Mars. Toro Bravo colorways I generally love as well. This Ferrari colorway is one of my favorites for the 14s. I don't love 14s like that, like it's not one of my top 5 sneakers of all time. But this colorway, when I saw them returning, I loved it. However, when I did get them in hand, I just wasn't sure like how to pull it off. Like I'm not exactly the most bold and kind of loud dresser, and the 14s, in terms of just the shape of the shoe, I don't think it's like the best casual shoe, just how it looks and how it fits with different types of clothing. I think it looks a little bit still too athletic looking. It's not like a Jordan 1 or 3 or 4 or even a 5. And then you pair that up with like this very bold, loud red colorway. I don't know, for me, it is just hard to pull off. I'm not that guy. I do not have that type of aura. So the shoe I let go of, but then I look back and I see photos of this and I go, I should have just kept them and got my shit together and just wear whatever I wanted to with it, and I would have been fine. Because look at this. This all red upper is just so delicious. Materials wasn't anything like overwhelming, but the hints of yellow. Of course, the 14s was inspired by Michael Jordan's love for Ferrari, particularly his Ferrari 550 Maranello, and the sleek silhouette on the 14s with these colors. It just looks so nice. If nothing, I should have just displayed them on like my shelf or something, because I look back and I really do regret letting go of these. I might have to get them back at some point. And at number 9, it is the Clot Adidas Superstar that dropped in 2025. And I actually had this shoe on one of my underrated sneakers from last year. And I did end up letting it go, and I do regret it. So the reason I let this one go is because that serrated outsole, even though when you like wear it, it doesn't actually like bother you too much. You might think it feels funny when you're like walking with that type of outsole, but it really doesn't. So like comfort or the feeling on feet wasn't the thing. But again, for me, it's just a little much. Like it's just a little too different. Not the colors. I love the colors chosen on this shoe. There's mismatched colors on left and right, representing the yin and yang. When I like put the shoe on feet, would wear it out, I don't know. I just was conscious of what I was wearing. But again, I look back and I take into account the storytelling of the shoe. It is inspired by the Chinese tradition of 100 family cloth, which is essentially they would take unused fabric and they would like piece it together into one unified piece of clothing. So this shoe has a bunch of different materials, including corduroy, houndstooth, leather as well, suede, knit, and webbing, but it all comes together so nicely. So looking back, I probably let the serrated outsoles get to my mind and play with my head, because the more I look at these, the more I think it actually looks fine on feet. And next up, it is the Union Jordan 1 Chicago that dropped early last year in February. So this year, of course, Union came heavy with 3 collaborations with Jordan Brand and Fragment, all very nice colorways. Maybe not the black and white one, which is the most rare. I actually don't love that one too much, but the black royal colorway is delicious. And the main reason why I let go of the Chicago Union Jordan 1s was because I was like, there's a few coming out this year that I will probably put over this and like more. That black royal colorway I do actually like more, and I was anticipating that I would have the royal colorway in hand It's very hard to get. It is very expensive. I don't want to shell out like $800 to get one shoe. I will just not pay that type of money for a sneaker. So I don't have those. And now I'm regretting that I let go of the Chicago ones. So of course this shoe comes with the usual Union setup with the Union LA tag, the kind of deconstructed look, a very nice shoe, nice materials. And if we didn't know about the Union Fragment Jordan 1s coming out this year, like last year, I probably would have kept that shoe and have it in hand. But I don't. And I don't have the Black Royal ones either. And at number 7, it is the Travis Scott Jumpman Jack Dark Mocha that dropped in December of 2024. Now, I really think the Jumpman Jack is a very nice sneaker. Obviously, taking inspiration from the Air Trainer 1, one of my favorite shoes ever, super underrated. And as I've always said, as you get older, you just tend to like brown. So as a black sneaker lover, and as someone that's over 30, black and brown are delicious on a silhouette that I really, really like. I don't really pay attention to Travis Scott. I don't listen to his music. I'm not like a huge fan or anything. However, this shoe just by itself, without the collaboration part behind it, or the hype and whatever behind it, is a very nice shoe. It's also like surprisingly comfortable because it doesn't have like super great tech or anything, but when I put my feet in a Jumpman Jack, it just fits really nicely. Now, the reason why I let go of these is because before I got this shoe, I already had the black and red colorway. That was actually a gift. Love that colorway. And then later on, a friend also gifted me the green kind of yellow, whatever colorway it was supposed to be called. Space is an issue, money is an issue, so I gotta choose one to let go of. And because I will never ever sell something that was a gift to me, that is just dirtbag behavior. So those two were off the table. So I was left with this Jumpman Jack to let go of. And at number 6, it is the Concepts 997 Montage that dropped in December of 2025. Now this was a made in USA shoe, so at least 70% of the shoe had to be made domestically. And it is also a step away from the kind of more simple and plain collaborations that Concepts and New Balance traditionally came up with. So this is taking inspiration from punk and grunge from the 90s. Now I was never really into that scene. That is not music I listen to personally, but removing that, just looking at this shoe in a vacuum, very nice colorway. Very, very nice. Almost as good as the C-Note from 2023. That was actually the first time they brought that shoe back. And the 997 is actually a very comfortable shoe. It is old, but it fits my big fat flat feet very well. Feels good underfoot, very light. Love the storytelling of this shoe as well, with the purposeful black marker on the midsole, the kind of distressed look, the exposed foam. Never really my favorite thing, but I do understand why they did it for this shoe. The materials were super nice, and it is still bold without being like unwearable. The reason why I let go of these is because I've never just been a huge New Balance guy. It is just, I don't know, when you grew up as a kid and you just admired and adored Nikes and Jordans, it just sticks with you. So you're like, when I grow up, I'm gonna go buy everything that I couldn't afford as a kid, which means mostly Nike and Jordans. So it has to be like a super nice New Balance for me to really want and crave and probably like keep forever. So I do have the C-Notes, and I'm like, I think I like that colorway a little bit more. But then again, I look back, I'm like, do I? Because this Montage colorway is, I don't know, that hint of pink. I'm not really someone that has like pink in my arsenal, but that hint of pink on this shoe, I don't know, it just hits different. I think this is a very nice colorway, and I'm an idiot for letting it go. Honestly, I might have to go and get these back. And number 5, it is the Yuto Nike SB Dunk Low Matcha that dropped in 2025. This is the second Nike SB Dunk for Yuto, and of course he is a professional skateboarder, Olympic gold medalist, and this shoe comes dressed in matcha colors. So, and of course it does have the usual Yuto branding on the heel, on the tongue itself, as well as inside the tongue. And the reason why I let these go is because I was like, I think I like the first Yuto Dunks more. It's just easier to wear, it's not as bright. I kind of thought the matcha green color reminded me of grass. And again, I look back and I go, is it actually worse than the first Yuto Dunks? Because the more I look at it, the more I can appreciate it. I look back, I do wish I kept these. The screen has grown on me a little bit. And number 4, it is the Jordan 5 El Grito that dropped in 2024 to celebrate Mexican independence. And this shoe is super nice. I was very high on them when I reviewed it. Of course, it takes from the colors of the Mexican flag on the lace locks, as well as the mismatched midsole on the shoe itself. Materials on these were super nice, and you get that embossed leather that is inspired by local ornamental architecture, as well as the Viva Dubre, and the Air Jordan tag inside the tongue is also custom, and it's just a very simple looking shoe with like cultural significance, as well as being very wearable. The reason why I let this go, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't usually like let go of 5s, but I think one day I was like, I have just too many 5s in my collection. I need to save space, save money, get some money back. Which one am I letting go of? And I think this part of me inside my head was like, I'm not Mexican, so I'm gonna just sell it. Hopefully have someone who actually has like a personal connection and tie to like Mexican culture and let them have this shoe. So I let it go. And looking back, I fucked up. And number 3, it is the Nike Air Foamposite 1 Galaxy that dropped in February of 2025. Yes, you're gonna think, what the f is wrong with me? This is a grail for many people. First time it dropped in 2012, riots happened because of the shoe. This time, not quite riots, not quite the same type of like popularity. I don't give a shit. This shoe has a lot of historical significance. It is a very important shoe in sneaker history. And I let it go primarily, again, I just got in my own head. I just don't feel like I could pull this shoe off very effectively. Obviously, the Galaxy print is just very out there. It is also more vibrant this time around, like the print itself, which is good. It just really, really stands out. I think the foams already kind of stand out as a shoe itself, but then you add this print on the upper. Ooh, that's a lot. That is a lot. And I look back and go, why? Why did I care? Because I could have just kept this shoe in my collection forever. I wasn't able to get the first Galaxies, so why not just keep the retro of these as like a historically significant piece? Even if I don't wear it too much, I should have just kept it. But again, got in my own head, too scared of not being able to pull it off. I should not have let this shoe go. One of the best foams ever. Maybe not my favorite Foamposite, but still one of the best, just because of what it did for foams and what it did for, even though it wasn't like a pretty part of sneaker culture, people like getting violent over shoes, but it is still very significant. Should have kept these. And at number 2, it is the Air Jordan 3 Soul 2.0 that dropped in 2025. Now this is the second iteration of the Jordan 3 Soul from 2018 that was meant to celebrate the 30th year anniversary of the Seoul Olympics. And I loved this shoe. Really loved it. The materials, really nice. The unboxing and storytelling of the shoe, I absolutely loved. Of course, you get the South Korean flag on the tongue. Tongue inside means dream. It got Nike Air on the back. And when you unbox it, it comes like a hanbok. So it's like a traditional Korean clothing. But then again, I was wearing these and just being self-conscious, got in my own head. Because number 1, people already have like trouble telling different types of Asians apart. I'm not Korean. So wearing these, I feel like some people just be like, oh, he's a Korean person. Is it like, right, I'm wearing like something so obviously for Korean culture, like literally the flags on the tongue. So I got self-conscious, got in my own head. And I think the fact that I'm Asian probably made it worse, like my own insecurity, because of like someone who's not Asian wore the shoe. People would just be like, he's wearing like maybe a shoe that he bought in Korea or something. For me, I'm like, I should maybe just let South Koreans have this shoe and sell it. Hopefully someone who is Korean will be the buyer and really appreciate the shoe itself. Got in my own head. I was born in Taiwan, even though I don't listen to like K-pop, I don't watch like the Korean dramas, but the movies and entertainment that they produce, they've done a lot for like East Asians in general over the last 5 to 10 years. They really have. So I appreciate the hell out of Korea. I have Korean friends as well, grew up with tons of Koreans, and I just got in my own head. But it is not number 1 because number 1, it is a shoe that was very, very hard for me to let go because I love the colorway. So clean. It is the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Low Reverse or Medium Olive. And I've said in many videos that have olive on the shoe. It is my favorite type of green. It is one of my favorite colors, period. I love when olive is used. Travis Scott obviously has utilized it a lot in his collaborations. And this is just a beautiful shoe. Beautiful shoe, beautiful shoe. Of course, it has the usual reverse swoosh. You get the branding on the back, nice materials. And the reason I let these go is because I already have the original olive colorway that I think still is slightly better than this one, and it was also a gift again, so I have like a kind of personal connection to that colorway that I just will never let go of. I do not give away or sell gifts to me. I think that's just wrong. So I kept those and I was like, these are just too close, too similar, can't keep everything, need some money back. So yeah. When I look back at this, it is tough. It is really, really tough because I do think I messed up. I think this is such a nice colorway. Oh, so that's it. Thanks for watching Sole Inclined. Let me know if you have a shoe that you really regret selling. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.